what do these trips look like for families with younger kids? Now, we have two separate types of trips where the experience is completely different. We have worldschooling cruises and we have worldschooling trips on land. Worldschooling trips on land usually do not have too much of an age limit, except for some. For example, our Morocco has an age limit where you have to be 3 years old, and that's due to car seat regulations more than anything. Our Austria Worldschooling Mountain Retreat doesn't really have a limitation as long as you can handle traveling with your own kid. Our 𝗙𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗍, for example, is a snorkeling focused one, so you really need a kid who is able to snorkel because there's a lot of interaction with marine life. We have New Zealand trip coming up, which I don't believe there's going to be an age requirement or anything like that. Now, for cruises, you have to be at least 6 months old for any cruises that have less than 2 consecutive sea days, or 1 year old for any cruises that have 2 or more consecutive sea days. Cruises are kind of self-contained, so the families come together on the ship and then they set their own schedule within the ship and within the ship's programming. So it's a lot more flowy, less like itinerary, because you get on the ship and then you decide which activities you want to join, which families you want to hang out with. You can join all the activities, you can join none of the activities, you can go on your own just as your family, or you can invite the whole group and then see who shows up. So very, very chill and relaxed and kind of go with the flow. Let's say you have an 18 months old. Most ships at 18 months don't really have a kids club. So you don't have that opportunity to drop off your kid at the kids club, enjoy some alone time like, let's say, other parents do with a little bit older kids. It doesn't mean that your experience is not going to be pleasant. It just means you don't really get alone time at that age. But like I said, I would be open to putting together a trip specifically with much younger children so that parents could focus on the connection and then the kids just play. This last trip, we were doing Barcelona to Singapore. It was 39 days. We had a family or two that one had a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old or 3-year-old. And it was really interesting because at first, on the first day, the little kids were kind of sitting with the parents, but within day 2 or 3, even the 2-year-old and the 3-year-old were actually sitting at the kids' table with the other kids. Obviously, you need to bring some toys to entertain them. 2-year-old too kind of said, "Bye, Mom," and walked over to the other table where all the kids were hanging out and just sat there on their own. And the parents were sitting back at the adult table and they were like, "What just happened?"